Hello and welcome to Cognitions, Speaking the Unspeakable with JP
and Stacy D.
JP Craddock, and I am here with the one and only Stacy D. Love. We are broadcasting on KUAW Radio. Stacy D, what's up? What's your check-in?
I don't even have one today. I'm just glad to be alive and have God in my life. That's all I can say. Because the check-ins will get me in trouble.
Did you get in trouble from the last check-in, Stacy D?
A little bit, yeah. I do not like adult children, period.
Okay. You didn't talk about them in the last check-in, so I don't know why they were mad. So
not other people were mad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, and guess what? Dream is coming home February 5th. So the first week in February, we will have Dream. Dream.
That name was not even on the list. The dog.
Well, you know I got ADHD.
So, we are going to diagnose.
My friend Michelle helped me pick that. Love you, Michelle.
That name wasn't on the list. That name wasn't better than the other names. No offense, Michelle. That name wasn't better than the other names.
I like Dream because you have to say it out loud because, mind you, the dog going to be outside. Dream! Dream! Come in here!
You had some good names.
I know.
But I really like good names.
I know, but King said that he didn't want nothing that was royal. He was like, we did enough with Sire.
Why?
I don't know.
That was your theme.
That was my
and that
theme.
Fits with your personality.
I know, but you
know.
So
why'd you give in on something that fits with who the D is?
He's the head of the home.
Okay.
He's the head of the home, and he was like, babe, well, he didn't tell me. He just made a suggestion. And, I mean, that was a little bitty, so I'll roll with, I'll roll, because I'm going to have a big one that he's going to roll with me with. So I'll roll on a little bitty one. I like Dream. Everybody I did like Queenie.
That was better.
I did like Queenie.
That was better. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm glad your dog is coming
Majesty.
Home.
Did you like Your Majesty? He did not like that name at all. That was one of the names.
Okay. Anyway, coming up on the show today, we have our question of the day. I'm going to get to my check-in in just a minute.
Part two.
We are doing, part 2 of Can You Cure Yourself from OCD, and if so, how? So, last week we did part 1. We covered, and OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. We covered the obsessions. Today we're going to cover the compulsions. But before we get to that, I'm going to do my check-in, and then we have a little bit of mental health and illness in the news. I have a question. My check-in is more of I need you to give me some guidance.
Okay, let me get it.
No. It's actually, I need a resource. We need a nanny or a sitter or something. Here's what happened.
Lord, look at this. The Pines get to get a nanny.
Well, more like not a nanny living in the house and all in sitting at the dinner table. Here's what happened. Nadine, I worked till 8, and she had to go to some event at 6. We just needed somebody at the house from 6 to 8. Well, our sitter, a friend of Nadine's, was going to come over and stay with Sashi, and she had COVID, so she couldn't come, of course.
Everybody have COVID.
Yeah, everybody.
I really hate COVID just as much as I hate cancer now. Okay,
well, those are the top 3 killers: cancer and heart disease, and then COVID. And so my sister wasn't able to do it. Because she had fallen down some steps. And so I was telling her.
Wait a minute, she fell down the stairs? How the hell she fell
Was she getting old?
Yes, it's hard to really grasp that.
Is she old?
Yeah, that she's getting old.
This old heifer, okay? And so
you're going to get in trouble from that one. I promise you're going to get in trouble for that one. Steph, I did not say that. I couldn't even gather that you were getting old. He done called you the old heifer. Okay.
She fell.
She fell down the stairs. Well, hell, I fall down the stairs all the time. Who?
Well, you and her are getting
her.
older.
No, I don't have to do with, oh, this is my equilibrium. It's dealing with my ears.
It's her equilibrium.
It's my ears.
She's diabetic.
Yeah, it's my ears, though.
So I love my sister, and she's not gonna like that. Steph, you not getting old, but you did fall down them stairs. Okay, so she wasn't available, and so I called a friend of mine. I won't say who it is, but it's somebody who you know, and asked if her daughters could, come over, and I was gonna be in the house upstairs in session. So I was like, I just need somebody here from 6 to 8 so she doesn't disrupt my sessions. And she said, oh, yeah, they can do it. And so I said, well, what do they charge? Because, I want to pay them, and let me know if they want, like, some dessert or something. I can whip up something. If they want to eat, we'll have food for them. We treat the sitters good. She texted me back that from 6 to 8 p.m., they wanted $60. 60.
Okay, how old are they?
They're kids. They're teenagers.
Like teenagers, like how old?
I think one is in middle school and the other one is in high school. Or no, they might be like 9th and 11th grade.
Oh hell, we could get my granddaughter to come over there and babysit. She's good. I mean, you in the house, they could just be in the room playing.
I didn't
She would
know.
charge you like $20. And some Chipotle.
There you go. See,
She would have charged $20 at Chipotle. You should have called me. I mean, 6 to 8, I could have just dropped her off, and because you're literally like 15 minutes away. Yeah, I'll give you her number because she has her own cell phone number. Why these kids got cell phones? I'm the one that pays the bill. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
ADHD again.
Speaking of ADHD, we are going to diagnose ADHD on the show because the D, she got ADHD. At least she thinks she do. She might not actually have it.
No,
Everybody
really
thinks they have ADHD.
No, I really do. I was diagnosed in elementary school, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the it's my gift because it helps me be outgoing, the type of person I am, and make me be a go-getter.
Okay, well,
I have changed the negative into a positive.
It's going to be. I know so many adults who have diagnosed themselves.
Now, I actually have I have medicine.
Okay, well, yours is legit.
Yeah, mine's
Everybody
legit.
else is just getting old and can't pay attention, and so they're diagnosing themselves with ADHD.
I've always been like this.
Well,
yeah.
It's a mild case, D.
It's mild.
We're going to fully diagnose it. I had been kind of avoiding it because it can be complicated to diagnose ADHD, and we're going to diagnose adult and older adolescent ADHD. But I have found, I've been thinking about it. There's a way that we're going to be able to do it. It's going to be fun and interesting.
Cool.
So
I can't wait.
For those of you listeners out there who have diagnosed yourself with ADHD because you done got old and you can't pay attention. We're going to figure out if you truly have ADHD or if you just old. Okay? And so we're going to walk you through the process.
I mean, it's so bad that my kids be like, Mama, will you please take your medicine? But
please take your medicine.
Please take your medicine. I don't like medicine. It makes me go to sleep. Huh?
Your ADHD is causing me to lose focus. I have no idea what I was talking about.
And a lot of my because I have many businesses and a lot of my co-owners, they was like, okay, can we just write it down? We're gonna stay on. No, go back. It's like our office meetings are like off the chain.
I do not know what segment we're even on.
OCD, but we're going to talk about
we're on. Oh, the check-in.
You was on check-in. Okay, time out. You guys, we have something really that's going to really be fun. Have anybody ever watched Catfish? Hello?
I like
you know what? We really need to get into a live audience because I really want to talk to the audience.
They can call in.
Okay, give them a call-in number.
On and see that number.
I don't wear glasses anymore. I had the surgery. Ching-ching.
Okay, then read that number because with my glasses on, I cannot see that.
It's 816-599. 6893. Call in. So have anybody ever seen Catfish? So we're actually gonna be, February is the month of love, and we're actually gonna go in. And am I gonna do Tinder or Hinder or whatever the hell it's called?
Okay, we are so off track right now. Okay, we are going to, for the love of Valentine's Day, set up a profile for Stacy D. It's not Tinder.
Oh, what is it? What's it called?
It is. I'm gonna have to look up the name of it. What I did was
I'm gonna put on some of my sexy pictures and everything too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. We can do it right here
We're doing it on the air.
On the air.
We're doing it on the air. We're gonna set up a
Mr.
profile.
Walker, we're gonna be able to do that right here on the air so everybody can see and everything.
Setting up the dating profile.
Setting up the dating profile on dating. I think so. And I'm gonna keep everybody posted. I want you guys to do this walk with me. Watch out, Ken, you might get cut.
We're not catfishing people though, because that would be that ain't right.
Well, it is catfishing because I'm a married woman.
You're gonna have to go out on these dates.
I don't have a problem with going out on a date.
Okay, you might want to talk to your husband because we're not catfishing people. You going out on these dates?
Are you going with me?
No.
Are you going to be there and like sit on another?
Oh,
table
that
or
actually
something?
would be fun.
Yeah, and then you can like video. Oh my God, this is gonna be so fun.
And yes,
okay,
this will be fun.
Thing, you got to be 6'3" at least.
Hold up,
no
Steve,
stomachs.
we're not doing the profile right now. We're
6'3"
what are you doing?
And no stomach.
How did we lose control of the show?
Cousin D got in charge. Okay, check in.
I'm just trying to get a referral for a sitter. I'm trying to find out if $60 for 2 hours
too
is
much.
Too much money.
I told you, Dre would have done. Dre have her own and my granddaughter Dre, she's gonna bring her in because she has her own dog food line. Boy, I am
minority business.
I am doing the thing. Generational wealth, okay? Yeah, she's 10 years old. She has her own dog food line. We got to bring her in called Dre Day. I don't know. It's Dre somebody. But yeah, she would have charged.
How old is she?
10.
And she has a business.
She has a business. She have her own
now
number
wait,
and
at
everything.
10, can she babysit at 10?
Yeah, I mean, you at the house. They're going to be in the room, kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like she's going to be there by herself.
Yeah. And it ended up only being an hour and a half, and...
But you paid $60.
No, I didn't. Nadine was like, oh, I just won't go. That's more than the ticket to the event. And so I was like, well, I'm paying them. You can still go. She's like, it's the principle of it.
It's the principle. And it was a friend.
Yeah,
they should have told their child.
Said.
They should have told her, now $30 is, I think $30, but like I said, Drea would have done it for $20 and some Chipotle.
That's.
Okay, there you go again, Mr. Walker. Talking about ADHD, trying to keep me rolling. But then we got Mr. Walker over here, got stuff loud, and then my attention.
I think Mr. Walker has ADHD.
I think Mr. Walker has ADHD too.
We have got to diagnose him.
Do better.
You will get diagnosed. Okay, so
we got the master over here.
This is what's Nadine. She wasn't going for it. She's like, it's the principle of it. They're like, this is a friend. Why $60 for 2 hours? She ended up finding she has another friend whose daughter is an actual nanny who was willing to do it for like 20, and we ended up paying her 30, and it was an hour and a half. Now I called my friend. I had texted her, skip the babysitting. We don't need that. I'll still make the kids like a dessert, whatever they want, a cake or something, but they don't need to come over here for $60. And she knew why. And so she called me, and I couldn't answer. I called her back. And
well, at least he did call back.
Well, there is a side to this. She was saying, I said, well, we found a nanny for way less, like that. That's a lot. And I told her, I said, I assumed that they either really didn't want to do it, because you know how sometimes people might be like, I don't want to do that, let's charge a whole lot, so that they say no. So I was like, D, that's what
on my bail bond stuff, when I don't really want to get out the bed, I'm like, okay, if I got to get out of my bed, it's $500. It only may be $100. I'm like, $500. If you pay me that $500, I'm about to get up out my bed and do it.
That's what I thought the kids was doing. Mm-hmm. And so I told her, I said, I thought about it, and they either really didn't want to do it, or they think my baby's a heathen and that they should get $60 for watching her play. She was going to be fed. She was going to be dry. They literally did not have to do anything.
But just play with it. Just interact. That's what I said. My granddaughter would have loved that. She loved babies.
And I said, my baby ain't no heathen. So she was saying, no, that's not it. They wanted to do it. They didn't think that she's a heathen, but minimum wage has been increased. I didn't know it increased in Kansas.
Okay, but even if it did increase, it didn't increase in Kansas, because I have businesses. It didn't increase in Kansas, but it did increase in Missouri to $11.15. But even at $11.15,
what is it in Kansas?
$7.92 or something. It's really funny, yeah.
They think it's $15.
That's a lie.
So she was like,
Google it, Mr. Walker, while you're there playing on your phone.
Mr. Walker, keep that phone turned down.
Keep the phone turned down. Google minimum wage in Kansas, because I had to change a lot of things as a 1/1/22 because of my businesses. Because I have people underneath me, so I have employees, so I did have to change them. Yeah, so Missouri went up to $11.15. It is not no $15 an hour, and even in the state of Kansas. Yeah, I know it's $7.25 in the state of Kansas.
So they almost cheated me.
They did.
$60. So when we're off the air, I'm gonna tell you who it was. But she was like, "That's minimum wage, and that's what they've been charging people. They've been charging people that."
Oh, well, they wouldn't watch nothing of mine.
They didn't watch mine, and the nanny was great.
Real nanny,
but a full-fledged nanny. But she's a college student, so she has to go away to school, and we need somebody. My sister falling downstairs like she's not available.
Well, I will talk to Drea and see what she.
$15.64 per hour babysitting nanny wage.
It's 15
for nannies and babysitters.
$15.64.
Well, I only have to pay my employees $11.15.
But nannies are
15. Yeah.
Babysitting has here is the average in Missouri. Average salary is $15.64.
Well, that wasn't minimum wage still.
Okay, so if you all cannot hear Mr. Walker, he said that for babysitting, the standard rate is about $15. But that would be a sitter who's trained in CPR and first aid and can save your baby.
Wait a minute, can even speak another language.
This is two teenagers who, if the house caught on fire, they'd have ran out and left me and my baby up in there. They didn't deserve $60.
No, they didn't. I mean,
right.
Wow.
So that's my check-in. Okay, we need to get to some mental health and illness in the news. This is about clickbait. And I'm going to confess, I fell for it. There is a rapper by the name of Kodak Black. Are you familiar?
Mm-hmm. I know Kodak Black.
Okay. Is he famous?
Yeah, he really is.
He's really famous.
He's really famous, yeah.
Okay. There was the headline says, Kodak Black caught having sex at NHL game, National Hockey League game.
Well, I'm glad he was at a hockey game.
That title in and of itself is clickbait. It will make you click on it. I never heard of him. Okay?
But when him having sex up in the hockey game, he's like, whoa, Lord.
Something for the show. So I click on it, and I'm reading the story, and they're talking about how someone at the game sitting in his proximity recorded him at this game.
Did they even have a blanket over him or something?
And it says, let me explain. Engaging in a public sex act with a female companion in his luxury box during the game. So then my thought was, okay, if he's in his luxury box,
aren't the box seats like up there? I mean, they have food and I mean, I've been there
it's like
before.
a suite.
It's a suite, yeah, exactly.
So is it a problem for him to have sex in a suite?
I don't think so.
That's
they
what
could turn
I
the
was
lights out.
thinking. I'm like,
Or turn
okay,
out some of the lights.
it's not like he's down there with the general public. He's in a private suite.
In a private suite.
So I read on though, and it
Clickbait.
then says, this is the clickbait part. However, all was not as it seemed. This is on Hip Hop DX, whatever this website is. A closer angle of the
JP
apparent sex
everywhere.
act, as posted by Kodak Black himself on Instagram, revealed that the young lady was simply twerking on him, and they both were fully clothed. And so then I got agitated because they tricked me. They used the headline.
You was about to hear about some old sex stuff at the hockey game.
We was gonna sit here and talk about whether or not it's appropriate to have sex in a suite. But they tricked me with that headline. That's clickbait.
She was twerking.
To get you to click
Hey,
on something.
If y'all want to see me twerk, call or post it in a thing, and y'all gonna see Stacy D twerk.
D.
What?
We just talked about you twerking, dropping it like it's hot, and all of that last week, and you were retired from that. You back into twerking? Is there a D? Are you sure you can do this? Because some years have passed.
It's not even that hard on the knees.
Because I wasn't going to mention your knees, but you know I was thinking about your knees. Okay.
It's not that hard on the knees.
This whole studio.
It's the toes.
This whole studio has been moved to the ground floor because of your knees, probably.
We used to have three levels of stairs, everybody. Yeah.
Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. I appreciate that.
Mr. Walker didn't want you to know, but your knees.
The knees.
Okay, so the point of this story is, I don't know, like, be careful of stories that if the title sounds just too bizarre, it's probably clickbait, and they probably make a certain amount of money. They're tracking.
No, they do.
They're
you
tracking.
Click on it,
and that's how they get you to do it. And I also notice sometimes they'll use a title, and then you click on it, and what's in the title is not even included at all. There's this title that keeps coming up saying what all men do who cheat. So I click on it. It's about insurance rates and how to save money. Yes.
Clickbait.
Clickbait. They tricked me. And so I'm trying to avoid clickbait because I don't like that.
We don't like clickbait.
Don't play me. Don't play me like that. Okay, let's get to our question of the day. Can you cure yourself of OCD? And if so, how? And we got a question and answer. I'm going to come back to the question because someone sent us a question on
Good.
this.
Thank you.
Okay. And so last week, what we covered was the obsessions. And I gave a homework assignment to our listeners who have OCD to get you a notebook and track your obsessions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not going to go deep into that. If you all missed that, you can just go to our Facebook page and see the interventions for getting control of the obsessions. Today, we're going to talk about getting control of the compulsions. Remember, the compulsions are the behaviors. So in your notebook, what the homework assignment was also is to track how often you do the behavior. Now, if it's one behavior, like a person who is hand washing, you can just use a calendar. If you are a person, one of the examples we used was the family member who does everything in even numbers. That's going to be a list of behaviors to track. So you might need a log. You need a notebook because you're doing a lot. And
like a 300-page one.
Yeah, because you're doing a lot. And so what you're going to do I'm assuming that you all did this, okay? You have written down how many times you engage in this behavior over the course of a day, over the course.
Did you write yours down, JP?
What are you talking about, D? What?
The whole hand washing thingy.
No, I don't have OCD, but I should have. That would have made it more interesting.
Exactly. You
Why
don't
didn't
want to
you
work
think about
with
that
it.
then?
I just knew you was gonna do it. You giving people homework where you do it yourself too.
I'm sorry. That would have been good.
Real good.
Too late though. I didn't do it.
Let's call Nadine.
I'm
Bet
sitting
she
here
has
with
a
no
number.
fingerprints. I'm sitting here with no fingerprints, and I didn't do it. Man, okay. We'll make up for it by doing catfish and me sitting across a restaurant recording the D on a date with some strange food.
I can't wait. No stomach and at least 6'3".
If I had done it, I would write down how many times I engaged in the behavior over the course of a day, over the course of the week. And then what you do is you just gradually reduce that number. You taper yourself off. This in behavioral therapy is called systematic desensitization, because you can't just cut yourself cold turkey because it will cause a spike in your anxiety and could. Is that Mr. Walker?
That was Mr. Walker again.
Mr. Walker.
You know, we are in 2022. One of my things was I was not going to fire Mr. Walker in 2022. You know, that was one of my little thingies. But, Mr. Walker, keep on.
I have a confession, though. I had to ask, was it Mr. Walker? Because I thought it was my front door.
I turned my ringer off, you guys.
I just checked to make sure mine. Is turned out. But hey, you got a Ring doorbell. When you hear that sound, you checking like, who am I boy?
Okay, now we just gave them some money. Ring, run us our check.
Yeah, because Ring send us a check.
Send us a check.
Okay, and so if I would have done it, I would have tracked, and not. You don't end this cold turkey. You ease yourself up off of it, because as I've talked about before, when it comes to the anxiety disorders, they can overlap at times. Like if you spike in one anxiety disorder, it can cause you to have a panic attack, which is a totally different anxiety disorder, panic disorder.
And that can end you up with a hospital bill.
That will oftentimes, because when people have panic attacks, they think they're about to die or go crazy. They're having heart palpitations. You cannot convince them they're not having a heart attack. And they're not. They get to the hospital. Hospital's like, your heart is fine. Everything else about you is fine.
Do we need to do a referral to the therapist or the social worker, please?
And they will refer you to the psych ward, because it's like, fool, ain't nothing wrong with you.
Nothing's wrong with you.
But you want to gradually reduce that number. For the person doing things in even numbers, I'm going to speak to that person today. They would need to reduce the occurrences and start doing things in odd numbers.
I was thinking that, but isn't it the same
Which
thing
is
now?
difficult.
Yeah, it would be difficult.
They would need to, when you call your spouse, force yourself not to make the second call and hang up on them, okay? Just once. And so this is how you ease yourself. For that person, they would need to do double. They would need to gradually reduce the things that they are doing twice and gradually increase doing things in odd numbers. And then what you're going to log is that nothing horrible has happened to you as a result. You didn't have a heart attack. You didn't have a panic attack. You didn't drop dead. You know, spontaneous combustion did not. You are perfectly fine, like all the rest of us who do things in odd numbers, who call somebody once and we're good. We don't need to call them back a second time and hang up in their face. Okay. So the person, for example, who is checking under the car, because we gave that example, people who every time they hit a bump, they slam on the brakes, they jump out the car, they look under the car because they swear they have ran over a human. And so for those people, what you would need to do is have someone in the car with you who can talk you through because they're going to be able to say, I know you didn't run over a human because there's no human. I didn't see a human. So do not stop this car. Do not now let them slow down though. Let them slow down, but discourage them from fully stopping the car, jumping out, checking under the car. All that's unnecessary.
Or they can even stop on the side of the road, and you can talk yourself through it if it make them feel a little bit better.
Yeah, coach them through it.
Coach them through it.
The D is right. And D, give some examples. Let's imagine I'm the driver. I know I just ran over somebody.
Fool, you ain't ran over nobody. Just keep going. We running late. Because I'm with JP, so we're not on time for nothing. We're running late. Actually, speed up.
That is not what I was expecting. That is not. I almost had a panic attack right now. Okay, so whoever you have in the car with you, it needs to not be Stacy D, because I don't know if that's gonna calm you down.
No, okay, come on, we can role play.
No, we gonna roll with that.
Now I don't want to role play
keep
now.
going.
Fool, keep going.
Cause we late, and we will be late.
We're running late.
We'd be late without me thinking I'm running over people the whole way there.
Exactly.
All right.
He did make it to the station before me today.
I got here really early. You know why though?
Why?
I'm gonna admit. I left early because I needed to. I wanted to go by and check on my sister because she fell down the stairs. I'm like, I gotta go check because Nadine was like, "Why are you leaving so early?" This old woman fell down the stairs.
She fell down the stairs.
I need to go check, but I called her and she was like, "I'm fine. I'm cleaning my room and da 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 da." She's like, "No, you don't need to come over. I don't need anything." I was like, "Oh, I done already left the house." So yeah, I got here early. Okay, so. In doing systematic desensitization, which is a behavioral intervention for reducing, managing, and eliminating the compulsive behaviors, you will gradually just get used to it. And here's a good example of systematic desensitization. I'm gonna use my sister as an example since we're talking about her anyway, and she's already gonna be mad at me. But she used to have a phobia of needles. And remember, we covered phobias on the show. And so with her diabetes, when it got to the point,
my goodness, that's not good.
It was not good for her. And so she had to start giving herself insulin injections,
and checking her glucose reading at least three times a day.
Yes. And so if a person has a phobia of needles, that will freak them out. She probably had a panic attack when she found out. But fast forward, I don't know, a couple of months later, she's, she desensitized to it. Because if you are doing that which scares the living crap out of you, and the phobias are an anxiety disorder, it's called specific phobia. If you engage in that phobia and do it consistently, you will desensitize. And that's what happened. Well, the same thing goes for obsessive compulsive disorder if you resist giving in, because the obsessive thoughts are making you do the compulsive behavior. Resist it. As time goes by, it's going to become easier and easier and easier to resist it. So that's how that goes. Now, here's the question. The question that we got, what about the family members that are stuck with these people? And I had to give that some thought. And here's what I'm thinking. What you would want to avoid doing is enabling them. And so if you know that they have
So can you give us an example of how did that look?
Yes.
If you're enabling them?
Enabling is if your spouse has to do everything in even numbers. He has called you, y'all talk, you hang up, you know he's calling back because he has to call twice. enabling would be answering that phone. Don't answer the phone.
Don't answer the phone.
Now, you don't want to cut them off cold turkey. You want to let them know, listen, I am going to start easing you away from this behavior when I have an opportunity to, when it involves me, because I'm tired of playing these games with you.
I actually would answer the phone and be like, guess what? You're doing it again.
But they're happy that you answer because that's the second
but I'm
call.
still letting them know that
you
you
won't
are
stop
doing it
answering.
again. Yeah. You're
That's
doing
good.
it again. Yeah.
That's good. So I like what answer the phone and warn them though, like, look, fool, I'm not playing with you.
There you go, fool.
I answered this time. I need you to prepare yourself. The next time you call,
I will not.
I'm not answering the second call.
Mm-mm.
And so that's what the family member can do is don't feed into it. You are not going to be able to eliminate all of it, but a lot of it that involves you, just say, no, I'm going to start gradually reducing you from this, gradually reducing how often I play a role in it. And so for the family member, you need to get a notebook also. You need to get a notebook and track how often you are participating in OCD. You're an enabler. And start reducing that behavior. This could actually be fun. If I could get them, we should do an ongoing series on this. If I could get them to be willing to expose themselves.
He's funny. He probably will.
He is funny. And, well, he kept this a secret from me for a decade or two.
He didn't want to hear your mouth.
I did not know. I totally missed this.
How dare you?
Clearly, my clinical skills are not as sharp as they once were.
No, you just wasn't horning in on him because you have your whole caseload. So you're just like, oh, didn't pay any attention by him hugging you and patting you 2 times.
I missed it.
And then hugging you again and patting you 2 times.
2 times. We need them to come on the show to, on the air, work him through OCD.
Oh, wow. That'd be phenomenal if we can do that.
That would be a lot of fun. That plus you catfishing people, like, we're going to have a good year.
Have a good year.
Okay, any other suggestions for the family member, Stacy D?
Not right now.
Okay, and I cannot think of anything else either for the family member. Is maybe be encouraging. Here's the cognitive therapy piece that the family member can do. It's remind them nothing horrible is going to happen to you for not engaging in this behavior.
Exactly.
And like Stacy D was saying, if y'all in the car, just say, fool, you need to keep driving because we got somewhere to go. There's nobody under this car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes you just have to be rough with it.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of that. Okay.
Most definitely.
So
I'm the punk about it. So at that time I was
okay. I have a bonus segment for today.
ooh, bing, 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 bing. Let's get it.
Now, in the past, these bonus segments have had something to do with Stacy D, but not today.
Okay, thank you.
This is not that was fun when we did
It was
that.
fun.
Get
It
to
really
know
was
the D.
fun. Get to know the D.
Yeah, I'm going to have another one of those one day, but not today. This one is a modern parenting.
Oh, we're going
bonus
back to
segment.
modern parenting. We was doing that in the beginning, but we was running out of time.
It's Q&A.
Come on, JP, let's get it.
Okay, so here's the question that we received. My grandson is living in a bad situation. He has been on house arrest for quite a while, awaiting sentencing for using and distributing.
How old is the grandson?
It's an adult.
So
he's
how
on
is this
house
modern
arrest.
parenting then?
Well, it's a young adult. He's like 17, 18. Let me finish reading it.
In Missouri, he grown.
Let me finish reading it, and because that'll give you a feel for the age.
Okay, come on. I'm sorry.
Okay. Lord, ADHD. Okay. He's been on house arrest for quite a while, awaiting sentencing for using and distributing. Anyway, he's pretty much begging me to take him in again, and I'm so afraid to do it. This is a grandmother. A year ago, when he lived with me, he tore up my house, brought marijuana into my home, and etc. He started out good for the first 2 months and then got disrespectful and lied to me. It was terrible by the time he left after about 5 months. He's living in a place where the people won't work and there's no food in the house. He is basically starving and down to about 120 pounds. He's about 6 feet tall. I worry about him, but also afraid to put myself in another bad situation. He promises all kinds of things, of course. He battles depression, but doesn't think he needs to take his meds or see a psychiatrist. I don't know what to do. He is breaking my heart.
That's a lot of grandparents.
This is a lot of
grandparents. It's a lot of grandparents.
There's layers on this one because you got the drug use, you got the depression.
He's self-medicating.
And he's a drug dealer.
Oh, you know what? Actually, he might not be a drug dealer.
It said that's what the house arrest and sentencing is for, using and distributing.
Now, all depends on how much he had on him, and then they'll charge him as distribution. But a lot of times, it all depends on how much it was had on him. Then they just give him that. So he may or may not be a drug. Yeah. He just might have a whole lot of, keep some at home.
Enough for it to be classified as distributed.
Yes, the classification, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What's Granny going to do? What's Grandma going to do?
Okay. I have actually dealt with this.
Okay.
Not me personally. No. My oldest is 14. Okay. But just dealing in my business, I most definitely tries to let the grandparent know that you have already raised your children. You have raised yours. And these are your Jubilee years. And Jubilee means in the Bible is this is the best time of your life. And you don't have to deal with things, and you do have to deal with things. And it's the way how you should deal with things, because the behaviors that he is doing can kill her. And then he won't have no type of support.
It really can.
Yeah, it can. Yes.
What I want for this grandmother to think about is engaging in enabling behaviors, because if you have had him live with you before and it did not go well,
don't do it again.
So you already know
until he go get him some help. But on the feeding part of it, I will most definitely make him a plate, because I don't have no problem feeding nobody. Beep, beep, beep. Come on outside. Because with house arrest, you can go to the end of the street. Sometimes you can go across the street. Beep, beep. Come on out here and get your food. Love you. And go on by your business.
That is something she could do, as opposed to letting him move in, because it's
hurting her heart that he's not able to eat. And
right.
That's really that's one of the problems, because he has shelter, but her child not eating is what's really, those are one of the things, like you said, the layers. That's one of the things that he's starving, and then he may just be lying to try to get sympathy from her too. But I will most definitely bring him a plate. Beep beep, come on out here and get your plate, baby mama. Granny loves you. Bye bye now.
Yeah, that is an option. What I also suggest is, because it sounds like he's old enough to get a job, and you can
have a job and be on house arrest.
Right. And so you don't want to be an enabler to the point where he is becoming dependent upon you to come in and rescue and feed. Like, at some point, you have to accept the fact that as a grandmother, you're not always going to be around to swoop in and save him. And a grandparent, a parent, all of our goal is for our kids to be independent and self-sufficient,
Yes.
so that when it's time for us to go meet Jesus, we need to know that they can maintain a job and provide a roof over their head and feed themselves. And I worry that he is not learning those things because of the swooping in to save him, which did not go well the last time anyway.
Mm-hmm. And then she also needs to speak with him about, okay, so are you waiting on sentencing? Then this is the opportune time for you to seek out therapy and also get your job because it's going to look better on the courts. It'll look better for the courts. He needs to be going to addiction classes and at least have a little part-time job.
If you, grandmother, cannot resist letting him move back in.
Oh, that's so bad. It shouldn't even be an option.
It really shouldn't. But if it is going to cause you more distress to not let him move in than to let him move in, at least put some contingencies in place. You need to say, okay, listen, I'm going to let you move back in, but you don't get to live in my house and refuse to get therapy. And
don't you think she already said those things in the beginning the first time?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, so why are we going to even revisit that?
Well, she might be.
Look at me.
She might be feeling like
we done reverse roles here. Oh my goodness, we done reverse the roles.
Because I want her to leave him where he's at.
I do too. He needs to stay where he's at. Point blank. Period. Once again, this is her Jubilee years, and why deal with that?
But
no, we're not even going to talk about him going back to the house.
We have to because she's going to give in.
No, because he's going to run over her. And at the end, he's going to put hands on her. He's going to be abusive. I done seen how all this have played out before. He's going to be abusive. He's going to put hands on her. And he might push her and hit her up in there. She fall down, hit her head up against the dining room table, and she's dead. I'm sorry, but I done seen this play out. Then he takes her body and put her in the backyard. This is what happened.
The listeners cannot handle what. There might be kids listening.
I'm telling you, this is what happened. I've seen it play out. I mean, and that was the worst case scenario. That was the worst case scenario that I have seen play out. Literally, he took the body and buried her in the backyard.
Okay.
But
Stacy D just traumatized our listeners.
Sorry, but it's real.
And you got this grandma shaking in her boots right now.
And she needs to be, because it's real. It's real. She cannot handle him. He can overpower her. It's just a bad situation. He might start stealing from her. Who knows? He probably already have stole from her.
Quite possibly.
Exactly.
But I think she's going to give in. We have to cover in case she gives in.
Where's his parents?
They are
they drug addicts?
I don't know. I don't know where the parents are. But if a grandparent is involved and he's not living with the parents, their situation is not obvious. It's probably not good. It's probably not good. And so I discourage you from giving in. Let me just say that.
Most definitely. Do not give in.
Stacy D is not exaggerating on how
I am going to don't let me find out who it is. I'm hotlining.
She's not exaggerating on how horrible this can go. It can go really, really bad. I've seen it go really bad many times. But I have a feeling that you are not going to be able to resist, and you're going to let him come back. And so, in the unfortunate event that you decide to put yourself through that torture, at least try to set some boundaries. At least try to say, listen, in order for you to come back, have this conversation before you let him come back. He needs to at least lie and make some false promises that he's going to do these things. He's going to make them. He's going to make the promises. You're going to have to go to therapy. You're going to have to resume taking your meds. You're going to have to put in a certain number of job applications per week. Don't give a broad general goal of you got to get a job, because he'll be like, you said I had to get a job. You didn't say when. And so You need to say, listen, I need for you to put in
and everybody is hiring right now. Everybody is hiring.
You can find a job.
Most definitely.
The boy
Kentucky Fried Chicken closed at 8 o'clock. Because I was wanting to give me some Kentucky Fried Chicken. They close at 8 o'clock because they don't have anybody to work. What the hell?
Yeah, well, because everybody has COVID. And so he needs to be
and
working at Kentucky.
Sarpino's was closed the other day because everybody in Sarpino's had COVID. And they have a real good salad. Okay, now
and he wants to distribute that Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Exactly.
Stacy D wants chicken after 8.
Kentucky Fried Chicken after 8 o'clock.
Distribute the chicken. So tell him that he needs to put in a certain amount of applications every week. He has to show them to you. Show you that he is doing it. If he's doing it on the internet or whatever, he needs to show you.
And he has a certain amount of time to get at least part-time employment.
Or he's going to have to get out.
Oh, he's going to have to get the hell out.
Got to get out. It sets some kind of boundaries.
Has to be some boundaries. And you will not be able to bring your weed and smoke up in my house.
Who does that to their grandma?
That's so disrespectful.
That is so disrespectful. Okay. Any other suggestions for grandma with the broken heart?
Most definitely going to have I'll go right there with you, JP. We most definitely going to have some house rules. I mean, no company after a certain amount of time. After a certain time, you're going to help me clean up. I mean, when you do get a job, I'm going to need you to pay me such amount. I mean.
Oh, that's right.
With him, with his mental health issues, because it's more than just depression. Mm-hmm. It's going to have to be boundaries, like real wrote out specific boundaries on what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And then also to let her know that I can support you, but I'm not going to be enabling you anymore.
I like what you said. The D is right about him having to have chores. You want to make it unpleasant for him to be in that house.
Then he want to get out.
Exactly. It is not supposed to be the lap of luxury.
Not at all. You
in the kitchen making pancakes and hash browns and bacon and eggs every morning
and
for breakfast. And you come clean
the kitchen up after I get done.
Right.
Wait a minute. So my daughter asked me, what is the lap of luxury? Because I told her she's living in a lap of luxury. What is?
She's like,
I was like, don't you worry about it, but you living in it. That's one of them words that we got from our parents and our grandparents. We don't even know what the hell it means.
She didn't know.
What's the lap of luxury? We know what luxury is, but what's the lap of it?
If she know what luxury is, then she know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What even is the lap of luxury? I'm like, don't you worry about it, but you living in it.
You living in it.
You living in it.
You know what luxury is. Look around. Look around.
Look around. I do not like grown children. Adult children.
Okay. I cannot think of anything else. I like your suggestions. Make him pay rent when he gets a job.
Most definitely.
This is why people struggle with making people pay rent when they live with them. And when I was fresh out of college and homeless, I paid my sister rent. Okay. But some people won't charge rent because they like, I need this food to get out of my house faster.
Do you know how hard it is to still, if they have mail come in there, you still have to evict them?
Well, yes. Actually, you cannot just put a person out. But their fear is the money they're paying me for rent is slowing them down from saving enough money to get out of my house.
Well, here go the thing about that. The money they get, put it to the side, and when they get ready to leave, be like, hold up, I got a present for you. Bam, 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 bam. Don't come back.
And that's actually what the independent living programs do.
Yes, independent living program.
If you can avoid having one of these people in your house, send them to independent living. The independent living program requires young people on probation, juvenile probation, to save 50% of their income. So when they're ready to transition out of the independent living program because they've completed probation, they can use that money to pay the deposit on their apartment, to get furniture. So that is another way that grandma could handle this, is tell him.
Yeah, because guess what? She's paying all her bills on her own. I don't need you.
Right.
But I'm going to show you responsibility, though.
And this actually would be the best way to be sure that he's saving the money to get out of your house. Because if you just trust him to save the money, he's going to be like buying drugs and getting high.
Jordans.
Drugs and Jordans.
Drugs and Jordans.
Because they go together.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about?
Drugs and Jordans.
Drugs and Jordans. Okay. And so you want to be sure he gets out.
Bye-bye now. That's all. Bye-bye now.
Right. So do not let him just be all up in the crib, spending money. He's coming home drunk and high and lying and telling you that he's moving out. Don't take that approach. It's a mistake. Okay. I think we have covered this question and the other question from the...
And I still don't think that's not no modern parenting question either, but okay.
Well, it's not typical. I don't think the average parent is not dealing with these kind of situations. This is an unfortunate situation, though. It is. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. That is our show for today. And remember, worry about nothing.
And pray, Pray. Pray about everything. He's listening.
Thank you for joining us. Have a good day and God bless.
Bye-bye now.